I did want to just echo something Stephen said, though, and it again sounds like I'm busting on the Biden administration. I am and I'm not at the same time, because the other party is just completely reckless and completely negligent on this issue. But if Stephen were to say what he just said about where's our fossil fuel phase-out plan to John Kerry, who, former senator, former presidential candidate, Stephen, that's not very realistic, is what he would say. And what is John Kerry doing right now as the climate ambassador, the climate czar for Joe Biden? He's talking about getting more nuclear power. He's talking about how can we capture all that carbon that the fossil fuel companies emit and make money off of that. He is not talking about a fossil fuel phase out. And to me, John Kerry's not a bad guy. John Kerry is bound and stuck by the fossil fuel system in the ways that we've been trying to discuss. And as a young lawyer, let me just say, I resisted this notion. I was like, no, not in the United States. We're number one. We're great. We're democracy. We do what's right. And I tell you, you look at members of Congress, out of the 535 members of Congress, 500 of them get money from the fossil fuel companies, maybe 480, but the vast majority of them do. And that is an issue. That is the ultimate issue here, as far as I'm concerned.
There have been so much talk about those fossil fuel lobbyists at COP. Everyone are upset. It's like 2,500 lobbyists from the fossil fuel industry at COP. I mean, of course that's problematic, but I'm not that concerned because there is 97% lobbyists from the green side at the COP meeting. I mean, there's 84,000 people there, and most people are fighting for a future. So those fossil fuel lobbyists are not in majority, but they are in majority on most countries on this planet because they have bought the majority of all the politicians in power, in democracy, but also in non-democracy. They have the influence and they are more powerful than ever because they make more money than ever. And what they have made sure is that they get not just legal status to operate, but they also get the money from the governments. I mean, $7 trillion in fossil fuel subsidies. So they have all the resources and they are taking control. And what the Professor William Snape said on our show yesterday is something we really need to get out of there, because that's the real problem. The US Congress, they have 535 members. And do you know how many of them that are receiving money from the fossil fuel industry?
I can imagine it's quite a few of them.
500. 93% of the US Congress are paid by the fossil fuel industry.
And the professor can prove this in his research.
Yes. I mean, that's the problem. It's not the fossil fuel lobbyists that are on the ground in Dubai right now. It's in between. And it's all countries. It's also the Swedish. I mean, I don't know if they get money directly from fossil fuel, but they are doing their job. The Sweden last year on our show, we have our climate minister talking about that. It's insane with the fossil fuel subsidies. Do you know what the Swedish position are right now?
Yes, I do.
They don't want to have phasing out fossil fuel subsidies in the agreement. They're fighting for taking it out. And last year they were saying that it was insane. What? I mean...
well, it's difficult to express that.
This is the problem. This is the problem. So watch Stephen Donziger panel yesterday. I mean, get out the message. And we need to stop this. And what I see now is the momentum about it. I mean, the elephant is out. We just have, like, it's a lot of elephants. They kind of double every day at COP because they can't hide anymore. And what's happening today, and in just I think in 1 hour or something,
some exciting news.
Is that Christiana Figueres, that was the lead of the Paris Agreement, together with Johan Rockström, together with the CEO of IKEA, together with a lot of business leaders, policymakers, Mary Robinson, that we had doing that interesting conversation with with the Sultan and the chair of the COP meeting, they have in a very short time put together a call to action. And we just send it out to everyone subscribing to We Don't Have Time, to the COP28 hub. So you can sign this. Do it now. And this will be delivered to the COP presidency. And it says basically that we need to have phasing out fossil fuel in the agreement, and we need to do what it takes. And that's very important. And we have actually a picture here from the Paris Agreement with our host in Dubai. Nick Duttle were actually the comms director for the Paris Agreement.
It was the communications director, yes, for UNFCCC.
I mean, those are the heroes. And they need your help to protect what was made in Paris needs to be taken further, keep that alive, sign the appeal, and this is hopefully going to be quite over the news today.